Gentlemen, Antonio here, and today I've got my good friend Tyson. We're talking about mistakes men make when they're going to get their haircut. You want to avoid these, and that's what we're covering in today's video. So mistake number one, gentlemen, what do we got, Tyson?
Number one mistake, not putting the time in at home.
Okay.
Not being willing to put product. I'm not saying you have to use a blow dryer. It'll look better if you do. But a hairdresser, a barber can
I'm guilty of not using that blow dryer.
You got to be able to put the product in for your hair to look good. Very rarely does a guy's hair or a woman's look good if they go home and don't do anything to it.
Now, let's talk about things that you overdo at home, which is probably the next mistake, is over shampooing.
Over-shampooing.
You said 3 times a week, right?
3 times a week is generally good for a guy. You rinse your hair with hot water. That's all you need. Unless your hair is extremely oily, when you wash it too much, you're taking out important moisture that helps the style.
So if I have oily hair, can I wash every single day? Is that cool?
You can wash it every day.
Now, what about the different shampoos out there? There are shampoos that are really harsh, and then there are shampoos that are actually, pretty gentle.
Generally speaking, depending on your hair type, curly hair like yours, you need to use a nice shampoo, not the drugstore. Some guys with short hair with no texture, sure, you can get away with less expensive shampoo.
And when it comes to products, guys, we're going to link to some down in the description to make that easy for you. Now let's talk about conditioner, because you pointed out something on my hair. You're like, Antonio, you really shouldn't be using a conditioner. You've got the curls, and if you want the curls to show, that's something that, let's just avoid the conditioner in general.
Conditioner generally makes the hair too soft. It'll kill your curls in certain circumstances.
Okay. So for what type of hairstyle do we want to have that conditioner?
Guys with longer hair.
Okay.
That you're going to see frizzy. Long hair like to your ear, that type of hair, or further.
Okay.
The longer your hair is, the more you need to treat it almost like a woman. Women usually need to wear conditioner. So guys generally can just get away with a nice middle of the line shampoo. Doesn't have to be the highest end, that has a little bit of moisture in it.
All right, Jen, so the next mistake is that you are not scheduling. You're not showing up to the barber when you need to. When do you need to? 2 weeks, 4 weeks? It really depends on your hairstyle. And Tyson, let's talk a little bit more about this.
I'd say generally a gentleman, unless their hair's long again, 3 weeks is when every guy should come back.
And you said in general, like if it's a closer, tighter cut, we're talking 2 weeks to maintain it. But if it's a longer cut, 4 weeks.
Longer cut,
3 weeks is going to be safe.
I'd say if money wasn't an issue or time, in a perfect world, a gentleman should come back in 3 weeks.
And one thing, and this is the next mistake a lot of guys make, is they don't take full advantage of their barber or stylist. One thing I like about what you do is you provide free touch-ups.
Yep,
for your clients, they can come back in and they can get taken care of the neck area, those little details which help extend the length of a haircut.
Right. It enables me to charge a little bit more on the haircut, but I don't charge for neck trims. They come in 5 minutes, I get their neck, maybe some ear hairs, throw some product in their hair, they're out the door.
And even if you're traveling, it may be worth paying an extra 10 to 15 bucks to go in and say, hey, I'm not looking really for a haircut. I'm just looking for a quick trim. I found that actually they charge even less than that. And sometimes I've even had, they say, don't even worry about it, in and out. So the next mistake men make is that they go after trendy hairstyles. Now, Tyson, you see this a lot. A guy comes in with a picture of the latest movie. Maybe it was Brad Pitt, A Fury. That was pretty popular a couple years ago. You see somebody come in and they want to go for these trendy styles. What's your response to this?
Well, A, you want a barber who's going to say, no. No, that's not going to fit you, Bob.
I mean, if it does fit them, great.
If it does fit them, great. What kind of job do you have? You're an attorney? Well, maybe that's not such a great hairdo for you. Or, you're a surf instructor. Sure, you have more leeway.
Understand the message that you want to send. And different hairstyles send different messages. You look at the hairstyle I'm going with right now. This is much more casual. This is more fun. I'm in Southern California, wanted to change it up. Now, if I was going to be wearing a suit, you can bet that I'm going to probably use a pomade. I'm going to basically slick it down more to give a dressier look. So the next mistake guys make is that they focus in only on price. And I know I'm guilty of this. When it comes to haircuts, I mean, this is you. This is your face. Your hair frames your face. I mean, if you can get a great deal, you got a great barber that's giving you an amazing haircut for 15 bucks. All the more power to you. But it should not be something that you're compromising on a great haircut between a not so great for $2, for $5.
I believe you get what you pay for. There's a reason barbers, certain ones, charge a little bit more. Maybe it's their education.
Yep.
Maybe they give such great haircuts that they need to weed out people that are price shoppers.
What I really loved about your place is that I got not only that consultation, which we talked about, but it was privacy. Literally, he wanted so I would be the only client in here, which I appreciated because we're filming, but I also appreciate if you go to a barber, you don't want to put on a show for other people. You want to be able to talk about things or be able to say something. You know what? I just have an issue with this hair in my nose. I'm embarrassed by it. And you don't want to have to say that in front of other people. So for you to be able to have a private area, for you to be able to, I noticed you've got, if I wanted a whiskey, if I wanted a beer, you take care of your clients.
And I find most clients really appreciate that. They don't want to talk in front of someone about coloring their hair, or worse, have someone sitting waiting while they're getting their hair colored or their beard colored.
The point is, gentlemen, don't focus in on that price so much. Price is important. We're not insensitive. We all have our ceiling.
You've got to get something that fits your budget.
Exactly. The next mistake is a lot of guys compromise on customer service. They compromise on really the experience. And they don't realize that, hey, going to a barber, this is something that's a bit of history. You share with not only your father, your great-grandfather, your great-great-grandfather, but you go back to Egyptian times. You go back to Roman legionnaires. I mean, these were guys that were getting their hair cut. And you might as well make it an enjoyable experience.
Just because you're a man at a barbershop doesn't mean you can't be pampered.
Yep.
It's all about the pampering. A relaxing environment, somewhere, again, you're comfortable. Somewhere you leave and know whatever you said stays there. Let's be honest, a barber, a hairdresser, they're kind of a therapist at the same time.
Yeah. So the next mistake, gentlemen, is you're not open to your barber's or stylist's suggestions. They're coming to you, they're a professional. This is something they do day in, day out, and they're throwing some ideas your way and you aren't even listening. So one of the things we were talking about is actually bringing in color to your beard, bringing in color to your hair. I know a lot of you guys, you're starting to gray. Some of you like really young. How does this work out for you?
You got to be willing to take the advice of your barber. Color's not the way it used to be. There's 5 colors, different types of color I could think of right off the bat. Maybe you want to get rid of a little bit of gray, but not have it be obvious. If you have an interview, don't be afraid to make yourself look a little better.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen, so what mistakes are you making or are you not making or did I miss in today's video? Let me know down in the comments. And if you're looking for Tyson, you're in San Diego, definitely stop and check him out. I'm going to link to his website down in the description of today's video. In addition, Tyson, where can they find you online?
Online, TysonHair.com. My shop's called Tyson and Urban Hair Lounge.
Yeah, great place. And what do you guys think of my hair? Let me know down in the comments. And guys, that's it. Take care. I'll see you in the next video.